as I told you, maybe I told you, I've clipped all that inside there so that the brim, as it meets the crown, can sit flat. Remember that the seam line is inside the edge, and the edge will be making that tight. I've also pinned, and as you know, I like to pin across the seam line, and I started off by pinning at each of the quarter marks which I made, and I just matched those up, edges together, so that the edges, so that we can do that centimetre seam allowance nice and accurately. And now I'm going to stick it into the machine. I'm going to start just near the centre back, and I've got my edge sitting on that centimetre seam line. Drop the foot down, and I'm not in a rush here. I just take whatever time I need to take to get it done. Take the pins out as I go, and I'm just making sure, because I've already inserted my lining inside the crown, I'm just making sure that that's not tucking in underneath. So you can see here that the brim is on top and the crown is on the bottom. And I've got the sewing machine so that every time I stop, this is a really clever machine, and the needle always ends up inside the fabric. If yours is a more manual type machine, you may need to just turn the wheel around on the side of the sewing machine just to make sure that the needle goes into the fabric, and that way it doesn't slip when you're adjusting everything's position. So I'm just chugging along here, not trying to break any records, but I'm trying not to have the pins sitting in there when I get up to where they are. Please sew right up to the pins so that you're not letting any mismatch between the two seam lines travel around the hat. It's better if you've got a little bit of bunching or something to deal with that where you are. You certainly don't want that to all be at the end, because instead of several little bunching ups, we'll have one great big bunching up, which will give you something of a migraine, which we do not want you to have. So here we go. So just chugging along here, and and you can see here with your free arm, you can actually just tuck the hat in there if you like. I've actually got this sitting up on my ironing board, but partly so that you can get a good view of the head of the machine. I hope you can. Oh my goodness me, I hope you can. Oh, that's better. Oh, now I know what's going on. The thing needs to be tightened up. I hope you haven't just been looking at the top of the machine or something. So I'm just chugging around here and making sure that the edges are 1 centimetre away from where my machine line is going, and there we go. And here just passing another notch and making sure that the edges are together all the way along. And here we are again. Okay. Now, right, so we just stopped there. Now that was actually either the second or third last thing that we're going to do, but this is now, I'll show you here, this is now what your hat is going to look like. And we get a sense that this is now starting to look a little bit like a hat. I've also found out that my lining is a little bit floppy, so it wants to drop out. So I'm going to show you how to do a couple of little stitches up here to stop that from happening. And the next thing I'm going to do is show you a video on how to put the Peter shim in. Okay.